Hey everyone! Today I'm going to be fixing up a secondhand easel for my daughter Penny. Let's get started! A while ago my friend got her hands on a bunch of baby and kid stuff and ended up giving me a little easel. It was definitely well loved, but it was missing a few screws and the whiteboard and chalkboard were a little marred from use, so I decided to fix it up a bit. First things first, I had to take it apart. So for the whiteboard, my initial plan was to just refresh it with a fresh coat of white paint, but man, that stuff either has really crappy reviews or it is in large quantities and very expensive, and apparently it's pretty hard to use. So instead, I decided to just refresh it with white paint and then put a piece of plexiglass over it. This actually ended up being a bit of a better idea in my opinion, because now I can sandwich it with paper, like have the whiteboard and then paper and then the plexiglass over it, so that I can put in paper that has different kind of activities, and then she can draw over it on the plexiglass, and then we can erase it and she can draw over it again. I got some plexiglass that was about the same size as the whiteboard. It was actually a tiny bit bigger, but that wasn't that big of a deal. The actual board was like 23 and 7/8 inches or something like that, and then the plexiglass I got was 24 inches by 24, so I figured a tiny bit of overhang wasn't going to be that big of a deal. So first I went around the edges and I knocked down the sharpness with a file. I laid the whiteboard piece down onto the plexiglass and then I marked the holes in the corners and then I drilled those holes out. And to make sure that the glass didn't crack, I clamped the plexi in place and made sure that the plexi was supported where the hole was being drilled. For the chalkboard, I decided to try making my own chalkboard paint. I settled on a recipe that's 2 parts plaster of Paris, 1 part water, and 3 parts paint. Since I was mixing my own up, I thought, why not make this a fun color? So purple it was. I used a foam roller to paint 3 layers on, waiting for each layer to dry completely before adding the next. When that was completely dry, I primed it. To do this, you just rub all over with chalk and then you wipe it down. This makes it easier to write on and also to erase. And now to paint the frame. First, I removed the hinges to completely take it apart, and then I painted all of the pieces black. Here in the video, I'm painting all of this with a brush using some matte chalk paint, so I didn't have to sand everything down first, but eventually I went back and spray painted it with gloss black because the matte black finish would be a pain in the butt to clean later, and for toddler stuff, this needs to be easy to clean. But before I did that, I used the glossy black spray paint to paint all of these plastic bits, the trays and these little knobs. I let these dry and off gas for a couple days before taking it back inside to reassemble. And now I put it all back together. Here you can see that I'm sandwiching this paper that I drew a couple shapes on in between the whiteboard and the plexi. The idea with this is that she can practice tracing the shapes or color them in, or realistically for now, just color all over them with no rhyme or reason. I mean, she's not even 2 years old yet. Eventually, I'm planning on doing stuff like the lined paper that you can do when kids start learning how to write, and also maybe like mazes and stuff like that. I can even just print out coloring book sheets and put them in there and then she can color them with the marker. I feel like The possibilities are endless. What would you guys do for something like this? Anyway, I did end up having to replace some of the hardware. Like, to attach the trays, I ended up using some post screws. Before, they were attached with a bolt and a little knob thing, but I felt like it kind of got in the way, and these post screws are nice and flush and hard to take off, so she's not gonna like accidentally take them off. And to attach the short side pieces that hold the frame apart to make it stable, I used a bolt and a wing nut. And speaking of these short side pieces, when I was taking this apart originally, I noticed these notches in the middle of them, and I decided to use those to hold a roll of paper. I cut some dowel to fit, and then I threaded a big roll of paper onto it and stuck that in place. I can just pull some up and over and then hold it in place with some binder clips, and there you go. Perfect. A perfect little drawing area for Penny. Here on the plexiglass side, I'm drawing on it with dry erase board markers, but actually now that she's been using it, she has like normal Crayola markers, the washable kinds, and she uses those and they work just fine. So that's probably what we're gonna do for a good while. Anyway, now it's time to see what Penny thinks. I think she likes it. I'm so pleased with how this easel turned out. I'm glad that she'll have this easel to use for many years to come. If you liked this video, please leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all of that good stuff. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.